Good evening. A warm welcome to the Gita wisdom session today, the most auspicious day. This is yesterday, the Gita was actually spoken by Krishna to Arjuna, and the next day we are all here trying to learn more about chapter 10 today. So we have this chapter is titled the Vibhooti Yoga, the opulence of the absolute. It's also called as manifestations of divine glory. So let me start by thanking each one of you for joining this session on a busy Sunday evening. And let's start with our prayers. Why is it not working? Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this chapter is also called, the acronym for this chapter is C. So what is C? We will get to know as we go forward. Now, we will start with a brief overview of what we did in the last class. And we are at an important milestone completion today. We have completed half of Gita, and now we are getting into the second half of Gita. So after 18 chapters, 9 chapters are through, we are starting the 10th chapter, the most important chapter after 9th chapter. What did we study in the 9th chapter? It is the most confidential knowledge. And what is the acronym of this chapter? King. Why is it called King? K stands for knowledge. So Krishna tells us in the first 3 verses, that is lesson 1, what is the glories of knowledge of knowing about Krishna. He also tells us 8 qualifications that are required to know about Krishna. It's not enough that we read about Krishna and we think we have understood. But actually, the fact remains, most of us do not even scratch the surface of understanding who Krishna is and what is his glory. So he says, 1, what are the 8 characteristics that you need to know about him? Second, he also says, what is the disqualification? He says, if you have no faith, then there's no way you can understand who is Krishna. What is lesson 2? He tells us Aishwarya Gnana, Krishna's relationship with the material world. Oh, 1 second. Just a second. Thank you. So the lesson 2 is inconceivable relationships, and he talks to us about the Aishwarya Gnana. That is, what is Krishna's relationship with the material world? And he tells us that the entire universe is pervaded by me. There is no place where you cannot see Krishna. And he is the supreme director of whatever happens in this world. King, N stands for numerous types of worship of Krishna. Here he tells us there are people who do not believe in Krishna. They are the atheists. So fools neglect Krishna or bhakti. Then he also tells us that there are 3 types of devotees who worship him. He tells us about Ekatvena. They are worshipping Krishna with oneness. Then he talks about Pratakvena, where they worship in diverse forms as demigods. Then he talks about Vishwatomukam. They are worshipping the universal form of the Lord. So this was the lesson 3. Then King, G is glories of bhakti. So Krishna tells us that to worship Krishna is very simple. You don't need any exotic material. He says, Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Give me a leaf, water, fruit. I am happy. What I expect from you is to give it to me with love. That's the biggest lesson that we can learn in this glories of bhakti. What is the result of surrendering and devotion to Krishna? It is liberation, mukti. And the hope-giving verse for all people in this Kali Yuga is, Krishna is not a hard taskmaster. He's a very compassionate Lord. He excuses and purifies, even if we have some weakness, some defects, it is fine, as long as your resolution and your intention remains clear. So even people of sinful birth can attain Krishna. So this was the overview of what we studied in the last 2 classes. With that, we move to the chapter today, 10th chapter, the opulence of the absolute. And the acronym of this chapter is C. Why is this chapter called C? A very interesting way of understanding this. See, when we look at Sachin Tendulkar, Lata Mangeshkar, or if you're all World Cup football fans, Ronaldo, Messi, who are these people? They are very famous people. What are they famous for? Because they have a unique skill. Lata Mangeshkar was the best singer. Ronaldo is the best footballer. Shankaracharya, Prabhupada, Sachin Tendulkar, they are followed so widely basically because they have something unique which we don't have. What is that? That is the opulence. So one opulence and they become superstars. Imagine what is the opulence of Krishna. There is no one in this world who can even come close to Krishna. Krishna has all the qualities that are required in full. So that is the reason why this chapter is titled or acronym is C. So the Krishna is telling Arjuna, please see my opulences, then you will understand why I am asking you to fight this war. You are not committing a sin by fighting the war if you follow my instructions. So source of everything. Krishna is the source of everything. That is the first lesson. He is known yet unknown. And you will see this as we go along. Why is Krishna saying that? All of us think we know Krishna, but we really don't know him. And he says it's not only human beings, it is even devatas, the renowned sages are unable to understand him. We will see why is Krishna saying that going forward. Lesson 2 and the acronym E, essence of Gita. And this is the most important 4 verses that we will cover today, which if you study without going through entire Gita, 700 verses, you still would have attained the essence of Gita. And what is the essence of Gita? Bhakti. What is bhakti? Devotional service. And then you will also start getting an insight into devotional service is different from praying to Lord. Why? What is the difference? We will see as we go forward. E, everywhere. This is the lesson 3. So we'll cut this into 2 parts, basically because there's almost 30 verses here. We'll not be able to do justice to them. So we will study verse 12 to 18, where Arjuna expresses his desire to know more about Krishna's glories, more about Krishna's opulence. And the next class, we will cover 19 to 42 verse. So this is the reason of why the acronym C. Now, in the 9th chapter, what did we end with? Krishna said, Manmana bhava mat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yukta vaivam atmanam mat parayana. He says, if you become my devotee, then your ticket to Paramdhama is assured. Your ticket to moksha is assured. So now, in the next chapter, he's telling you, I am going to give you even more information, even more knowledge. Most confidential knowledge we have already learned. Now he says, I'm going to give you even more important knowledge in this chapter so that you can understand what is Krishna. Even Arjuna, being his closest friend, Dasya, he was not able to understand Krishna's opulence in full. That's why Krishna had to share this with him in such detail. Let's start with the first verse. What Krishna says. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhuya eva Mahabhavo Shrunu me Paramam Vachaha Yatteham Priyamanaya Vakshayami Hitakamyaya. So what is Krishna saying here? Krishna says, Shrunu me Paramam Vachaha. Listen carefully to more wonderful knowledge. So we are all now eager to know what is that knowledge, which is more than what we learned in 9th chapter that Krishna is going to give. And look at the love and affection that Krishna has for Arjuna. He says, Priyamanaya. That's one of the most personal address that Krishna has ever used for Arjuna. And another uniqueness of this chapter is there is no question from Arjuna in this chapter. So you can understand the relationship between the teacher and the student has now reached such a level that Krishna is enjoying speaking to Arjuna. And after chapter 9, instead of waiting for Arjuna to ask a question, he starts talking himself. What does he say? He says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again, O mighty Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. So it's very clearly saying that I am going to speak to you much more than what I told you in the last chapter. So what is, let's understand line by line. Bhuya eva mahabhavo. Bhuya is again. Eva is certainly, Mahabhavo is mighty Arjuna. I will elaborate for you. Shrunu me paramam vachaha. Shrunu me, even in 7th chapter, Krishna had said, the most important thing that for us to do is to hear. Mayi asakta manapartha yogam yunjam mad ashraya asamshayam samagram mam yatagnashasi tat shrunu. So listening, Shravanam, is the most important step in trying to understand what is bhakti, what is devotional service. And what is he asking Arjuna to listen to? He says, Paramam Vachaha. What is Paramam Vachaha? They are supreme words, teaching, wisdom that can give you a distilled view of what bhakti is. And he says, I am giving you knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Yatte aham priyamanaya. You are my dear student. You are an inspiring listener. And this shows the perfect relationship that a student has to have with this teacher. Vakshyami, I myself will explain to you. So Krishna is volunteering more knowledge for, he says, hita kamyaya, because I want to give you joy. I want to give you hita. I want to give you welfare. I want to give you shreyas. So last chapter, he said, Rajvidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. This knowledge is the king of education, most secret of all. Now he says, Paramam Vajaha. So this is even more confidential, important than the last part of knowledge that I have shared. And let us see what is the uniqueness of this knowledge. And when Krishna says Paramam Vajaha, and we should realize that there is something in this which he is trying to share with Arjuna, and through Arjuna, we must understand. What does the Lord say? Lord says, Name vidu suragunaha prabhavam na maharshayaha aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvasaha. What is the meaning of this? No one knows Krishna, the mysterious origin of everything. So now we can understand why is Krishna asking Arjuna to listen carefully, and why is he using the word paramam vachaha. What is the translation of this? He says, neither the hosts of demigods. We pray to so many demigods, 33 crore devis and devatas, nor the great sages know my origin or opulences. For in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages. So the essential learning for us is all the demigods that we worship, be it Subramanya, Ganesha, Durga, Vaishnu Devi, all demigods are part and parcel of Krishna. They all get their power, they all get their origin from Krishna. And Krishna is saying this, I am the source of demigods and all sages. All the great sages that are coming into this world, he will give you a list of them as we go ahead, are emanating from Krishna. Name vidu suraganaha. What does it mean? Says, even the devatas are not able to understand who am I. Who are Suragunaha? Suragunaha, Indra, Adi Devatas, all the demigods, all the great liberated sages. They have great intelligence, no doubt about it. But what is surprising Arjuna and what is surprising to all of us, he says, they are unable to understand me. Prabhavam. What is Prabhavam? Why are they not able to understand? That is the essence of this knowledge. He took birth in this world. Pra means birth. Bhavam means from the womb of Devaki. So most of the world believes that Krishna is a human being. But Krishna is telling Arjuna, no, I am here to take care of this world because I felt that I must be here to take care of the adharma which is ruling. That is why Kauravas are trying to play tricks with Pandavas. Dharma can never be defeated. That's the essence of this. So Krishna has born as Krishna from the womb of Devaki. So all of us mistake him to be another cowherd boy. Krishna says, yes, I am a cowherd boy, but that is my form. I come here and I have no birth, I have no death. And that is what is the essence of understanding. That is what Krishna is trying to say. Most of the people don't know. They don't know my strength. I come into this world and I go out of this world, but I am not affected by anything that's happening in this world. Na Maharshaya. No. Even the Maharshis, Bhrigu, Vishwamitra, Kashyapa, they all have knowledge of Vedic literature, enormous wisdom, but they do not know me. Aham Adiri Devanam. Why they don't know about me? Another most important revelation. He says, Aham, I am before Adir Hi Devanam. I existed before all of them, and I am their cause. So, how will the son know the details of his father? Is it possible? Very difficult, because son is always a son. Similarly, all this world comes from Krishna. So most of us do not know who is Krishna. Maharshinam sa sarvasaha. I am the root origin of all. I am the source of this world. That is the essence of this secret knowledge. Paramam vachaha. What is that? Krishna is, yes, son of Devaki. Yes, he is Devaki Putra. He's cowherd boy. He's born in Vrindavan. He leads a life like any one of us, but he is openly telling, I am not a cowherd boy. I am the Supreme Lord myself. I will come in the way I want, and I will go out of this world the way I want. That is his opulence. Only Krishna can do it, and none of us can understand it. Let's go further. How do we understand this? Let me give you an example. What do we see here? We see a pot. How does this pot come? Pot is the effect. There is no pot that exists in the world. You have to create a pot. So there is no universe in this world. Someone has to create it. That's the analogy. How does the pot come from? The pot requires the potter who has the skill, the expertise. So if you have a potter, then that becomes the efficient cause. So potter is not only sufficient for making a pot, but he is an important part of making the pot. He is nimitta karanam. Next, what do you require to make a pot? You require clay. That's the raw material. Where is the raw material coming from? It is the energy of Krishna. It is the material cause. Upadhana karanam. So for anything in this world, you need efficient cause and material cause. And what Krishna is saying, I am both. I am the cause, and because of me, you see this effect. The whole universe is because of this. And that's how you try to understand. Now, I just explain it to you, doesn't make sense. If I show it to you, perhaps it makes a better sense. All of us have heard of Govardhan Leela. Krishna was a 7-year-old boy. Many of us may not know this fact. And he lifted Govardhan Parvat to teach Indra a lesson. Indra threatened, if you do not pay your respects to me, I will flood Govardhan and I will see how you will live. Then the whole village runs to Krishna and says, oh, Krishna, save us. Krishna says, don't worry. Indra is supposed to serve you without any expectation. That's his job. And if he's now trying to threaten you, let me see what he can do. And for 7 days, it was raining cats and dogs. It was like what happened in Mumbai a few years back, even worse than that. But he lifted the Govardhan hill on his little finger. The whole village took shelter under that. And Indra realized after 7 days, it is futile to challenge Krishna. And then he realized that, oh my God, Krishna is in the form of a cowherd boy, but he is the Supreme Lord. That is why he said, Na me vidu suragunaha. That is how we have to understand. Every Leela tells you the story that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Let's move further. That's why the essence of this lesson is he's known as Krishna, but we do not know what is the power of Krishna. That is what we are trying to discover by reading Gita. Let's go to the third verse. Yoma majamanadim cha veti loka maheshwaram asamuda chamartyeshu sarva papai pramuchyate. What does this mean? One who knows Krishna is freed from all sins. Imagine the importance of this knowledge. It is available freely. Bhagwadgita is not a secret classified document. It's available in everyone's house. All of us have access to chapter 10, but none of us read it, or let's say if most of us read it, we may not be able to understand it. If only we make an attempt to understand what is the great result we get. It's a treasure. Sarva papai pramuchyate. You are freed from all the sins that you do. Let's read the translation. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord, Loka Maheshwaram, of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Even now, if we don't take interest, then who is to be blamed? It is we who are to be blamed. Now, we must thank the mercy of the Lord that we are all making a sincere attempt to try and get an understanding of this knowledge. So thanks to all of you once again to making the effort, putting the time to understand this subject. And what is the benefit all of us will get? Each one of us will get. We will be free from all sins that we have created, not only in this life, over lifetimes. What he says, Yomam Ajam Anatim Cha, he who knows me as Aja. This is the most important point. He's telling this again and again. Aja is unborn. Do not go by what happened that he appeared in the womb of Devaki. That is an illusion. He has to do that if he has to come into this world. But Krishna himself is saying, it's not that someone else is talking on behalf of Krishna. He says, I am unborn. I am beginningless. I have no origin. I exist always. I am eternal. That is the word meaning of Ajam. Next, Anatim. What is Ana? Ana means anything which energizes. So he energizes this whole world. Adi, he is the, he comes before the primal breath of creation. This creation emanates from him. He manifests as this universe. Veti lokam Maheshwaram. This person who understands Krishna is Ajam Anadim, he is the person who knows Veti. He comes to know that I am the Lord, I am the creator, proprietor, controller, destroyer of this whole universe. How do we understand this? Now, you look at any ornament in this world. We go and buy the best gold necklace. It has gems, it has pearls, etc., etc. But shorn of all that, what is it? Any ornament is nothing but gold. That is how we should try to understand the essence of what Krishna is saying. He is the essence of any ornament. Any universe in this world is his ornament. That's how we have to understand. Next, water only can exist as ocean. Water only can exist as waves. That is the second level of trying to understand what Krishna is saying to us. Asamuda samartyeshu. Now, who is Asamuda? One who is intelligent person, who is undiluted. We are all martyeshu. Martya means we are all eligible for dying. Death is certain. He says, even amongst martyeshu, all martyeshu, there are some who are intelligent, who make the effort to understand, and because of that, they are freed from all sinful reactions. Sarva papai pramuchyate. So what is the essence of learning here? God creates the universe. That's the first level of understanding. Second, God manifests as the universe. So God is the pot, God is the potter, God is the clay. Who is God? Krishna. That is what we have to understand. So when we hear or learn about Krishna, do not take it lightly. If Prime Minister of a country has so much of power, imagine what should be the power of the absolute Lord. It is inconceivable, achintya, unimaginable. That is what Krishna is trying to tell and explain through Arjuna to all of us. Let's go to the next verse. Now, we will take these two verses together. This is a wonderful set of descriptions which give you that. One second. Chaitanya, I saw your hand go up.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
No,
it's not a question. If you can just go back to your previous slide and give us the analogy of gold and water. I just missed the water part. I understood about the jewelry.
See, water, what is an ocean? What is a sea? What is a river? What is a lake? What is the thing in the well? It's all water. What is a wave? We when we go to a sea, what do we see? We appreciate the waves. What a big wave. Oh, tsunami comes, it can destroy a whole city, whole country. But what is that wave? Wave is the energy. What is the energetic? That is the Lord. That is the water. So that's what Krishna is trying to say. You may see me in so many forms, but remember, all of them are me. That's the way of understanding gold and water. Is it clear now? Let's move to the next, we will take these two verses together. And what is the beauty of these two verses is that Krishna says, I have given you 20 qualities. I have created different kinds of people. And after learning this verse, we will pause and ask ourselves, is it right for us to try to use our limited knowledge to try and challenge the Supreme Lord? First, let's go to the verse and then come to the question. What does he say? Buddhir gnanam aso moha kshama satyam dhamma samaha sukam dukkam bhava abhavo bhayam cha abhayam eva cha. This is the fourth verse. Fifth verse. Ahimsa samata tustis tapodhanam yasho yasha ayashaha bhavati bhava bhutanam matta eva pratakvidaha. Now let's go through each one of these. Krishna is the origin of all the qualities, all the personalities that you see in the world. You see Albert Einstein. Where is that intelligence coming from? Let's see this. Buddha, intelligence. So whenever you see Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, you name anyone who is the most intelligent person, the highest IQ person in the world, where is that intelligence coming from? It is coming from Krishna. Krishna has declared this openly. So if you try to use the quality that comes from Krishna to challenge Krishna, then it's like trying to hold a torch to the sun. Will the sun be affected? No. It is the torch which is trying to play a futile game of trying to show light on the sun. That is how you understand. Asamoha, freedom from doubt. When do you get freedom from doubt? When you do not, or when you have faith in believing what Krishna is saying. Third quality, gnanam, knowledge. What is gnanam? What is knowledge? If you know that we are a material body, we have a spirit soul in a material body, that is knowledge. And that is what Krishna has been trying to teach us from chapter 2, Atma Gnana. We are not the body, we are the soul. Body dies, soul is eternal. It is a part of Krishna. Let's move to the next set of descriptors. Shama, forgiveness. We all know that we must try to practice Shama, tolerance. We should not hurt others. We should excuse minor offenses. Tree is the best example of tolerance. Forbearance is also a part of forgiveness, Shama. Take a blade of grass. Everyone tramples on the blade of grass, but the same thing goes up and it is put on the Lord to worship. That shows how we should live in this world. Satyam, truthfulness. Always speak the truth. Understand what is the absolute truth. Do not try to lie because that is not part of Dharma. Dhamma, control of senses. We have been reading about Sthita Prajna, how important it is to control our five senses: smell, touch, seeing, sight, taste, hearing. That is Dhamma. Sama, control of the mind. These five senses are controlled by the mind. That is our central processing unit, CPU. So we must learn to control the senses through the mind. That's the essence of what we have learned so far. So all these things are coming from Krishna. He says, if you see intelligence, you should see Krishna in intelligence. In each one of these qualities, it is Krishna who says. Now we come to the set of duality in this world. Dvandva. Sukham, happiness, we all know. Distress, unhappiness, we all know. He says both of them are me. Birth, what is born? It's the body that is being born. So Krishna says, when you see birth, yes, you all celebrate. It's good. But be also aware that birth is also part of my opulence, my vibhuti. Bhayam, fear. And in birth, we must be, now we should go back to Gnana. Remember, the soul in Shyam Sundar Rao, the soul in Ramesh, the soul in Suresh, the soul in Chetana is eternal. All of us have the same souls. We will never die as the soul. Our identity as Shyam Sundar Rao will die as the body. That is the first essence of learning in Gita, Atma Gyan. Bhayam, fear. Why are you fearful? That's what he asks Arjuna. He says, you fight the war. He says, oh, I'm going to kill my relatives. He says, don't worry. Nothing is destroyed in this world. And even if something is being destroyed, I am responsible for that. Abhayam, fearlessness. When do you become fearless? When you know that only this body dies and the soul is eternal. Death. Do not fear death, because death is only death of the body. It's like changing of clothes. That's what Krishna has told us in chapter 2. We go further. Ahimsa, non-violence. Uh, we have seen Gandhi, who represented this in the last century, and he showed us what you can achieve through ahimsa. Do not hurt others unnecessarily. Follow the mean of peace. Samatha, equanimity. Don't try to say you are so and so. All of us are the same Atma. We are all jivas living in this world. And the courtesy of this jiva, the courtesy of this birth is Krishna. Tusti, satisfaction. Be satisfied with what you have. Do not try to overdo, overachieve. It doesn't take you anything, anywhere. In this world, life is a zero-sum game. There is nothing you acquire and there is nothing that you lose. Everything is happening here in this world, and you can't take even a small 1 ounce of gold to the next world. Be satisfied with the way the life is. Tapas, follow austerity. Today is Ekadashi. It's called Moksha Ekadashi. Can you imagine how important day we are talking about Gita? And that's what Gita Krishna wants us to do. Austerity, Ekadashi. Try and follow Ekadashi if possible. Because when you do Ekadashi, you are Eka means 1, Dashi means 10. So 11 senses of us are controlled if you do Ekadashi. That's the essence. Of course, we can talk on Ekadashi for a whole day, but tapas, try to follow austerity to please Krishna. We go further. Danam, charity. You can do charity as per scriptures to a Brahmana or a sannyasi. Why Brahmana? Because he is the person who is engaged in spiritual knowledge gain. Why sannyasi? Because sannyasi knocks the door of each one of us as grosthas and tries to remove our ignorance. Yasha, what is fame? It's not that you have 100 crores, not that you have an Audi, BMW car. Yasha is you are a devotee of the Lord. What is a yashaha? I am not a devotee of the Lord. That is how we should try to change our life going forward after reading this. Matta eva pratagvidaha. All those various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. That's what is Krishna saying. We go to the next verse. Maharshaya sapta purve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jatha yesam loka ima prajaha. What does Krishna say here? Krishna is the origin of all qualities and personalities. So we are continuing in the same flow. So let's instead of reading the translation, we will go through pictorially. So what does Krishna say? Krishna says the 7 great sages, the Saptarishis. Who are they? Bhrigu, Marichi, Atri, Pulastya, Pula, Kratu, Vasishta. All are emanating from me. Each one of them is great in knowledge. He is well versed in the Vedas, but he takes his origin from Krishna. And before them, the 4 Kumaras. Who are those 4 Kumaras? Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara. They are also coming from Krishna. There are 14 Manus. In fact, we are in the Vaivasvata Manu, which is the 7th Manu. So he says, all the 14 Manus, who are the progenitors of mankind, come from me, and they are born from my mind. And this is for us, all the living beings, all the jivas. And when I say jivas, not just humans, anything which has life, which is populating the various planets in the world, come from Krishna. So this is his opulence. This is Vibhooti Yoga. After listening to this, if we are still not able to decide, oh, well, let's listen to what Krishna says and keep our life simple, then there is something wrong with our understanding. If we keep it simple, just surrender to Krishna. What is surrender? I heard a very interesting explanation. Let's take surrender into Hindi. Sar is head. Under is niche. That is, you put your head under the lotus feet of Krishna. That is surrender. Simple. Nothing else. You don't have to remember all the 700 verses. You don't have to do any fasting or feasting. All that you need to do is, I say that Krishna, you are supreme. I bow down to you. I will do what you say. I will accept what you give me. Another very interesting verse. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mamayo veti tattvataha so avikalpena yogena yujyate na atra samshayaha. What is Krishna saying? Appreciate Krishna's power. That leads to surrender. We just heard what is surrender. One who is factually convinced of this opulence, this vibhuti, and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. Yujyate na atra samshayaha. So all that we need to do is put our faith in Krishna. Everything else works on its own. It's on autopilot. Etam, this truth. Vibhutim yogam cha. Vibhuti. What is vibhuti? It's a Sanskrit word. Vibhuti is the ability to see God in the world. We have just seen 20 descriptions of Krishna as to where all he exists, in what all qualities you exist. Anything which is unique in this world comes from Krishna. In fact, I'll give you a very nice explanation of Vibhuti. Vibhuti, it's made up of two words, Vi and Bhuti. What does V stand for? Vividha, Vishesha. What is Vividha? Manifold, multiple, varied, Vishesha, glorious. What is Bhuti? Appearances, manifestation. So if you can understand Krishna through the manifestations in this world, that is understanding Krishna's Vibhuti. Mama yoveti tattvataha. If you understand my yoga and if you understand my Vibhuti, tattvataha. Veti means knows, tattvataha means you know the truth. What is knowing the truth? It's not just saying 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. It is, if I give you 4 notes and if you're able to count them as 4, that is realizing. So you know and you live. That is tattvam, tattvataha. So mam yo veti tattvataha. So you know Krishna is the Supreme Lord. What do we have to do after we know? We have to surrender unto him. How do we surrender? He has told us through Bhakti Yoga. What is Bhakti Yoga? Devotional service. So avikalpena yogena. He person who knows this tattvataha engages in unalloyed devotional service. He is selfless. He has completely surrendered. And Krishna is telling Arjuna, na atra samshayaha. Don't have any doubts. Oh, ye hoga kya? Nahi hua to. The moment you have this doubt, then you are not trusting the Supreme Lord. Have complete faith. Even in chapter 9.4, he says, 9.4, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagattavyaktamurtina matstani sarva bhutani nachaham teshva avastitaha. This entire world is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. All beings exist in me, but I do not dwell in them. So you may be wondering, oh, well, this looks very heavy. How do I understand this? Just look at any cloth. What does the cloth consist of? It is made up of threads. So cloth is the absolute. So if you see the cloth, all the threads are in connection with the cloth. The number of threads, various vibhutis make one piece of cloth. So it is one cloth, many threads. Both are real. That's the way you have to understand yoga and vibhuti. Oneness of consciousness is yoga. Manifoldness of awareness is vibhuti. This is how, and keep this example in mind. What's the cloth? It's a piece of cloth. Yes, we all use it to cover ourselves. But what is this cloth made up of? Millions of threads. That is the essence of knowing Krishna. With this, now this gives you that same example. How do we understand Krishna? Two things. Krishna is in the world and the world is in Krishna. So Krishna creates the world, Krishna manifests as the world. Maybe when I say this for the first time, it looks slightly exotic, but after we allow it to sink, reflect on it, with this example, it becomes easier. See the water in the wave. Most of us stop at looking at the wave, but Krishna says, go beyond. What is the wave? It is water. What is Jiva? It is Atma. What is Atma? Part of Paramatma. That is the Vibhuti. See all the waves in the water. Vishwarupa Darshana. That is Krishna. With this, we move to the next important second section of this chapter, essence of Gita. If you read these 4 verses, you have understood what is the essence of Gita. Before we go into this, I want to just share a broad awareness about what happens when we start this journey of Bhakti Yoga. If we have to progress in Bhakti Yoga, this is how it happens. This is the magic formula. This is how our ancestors, sages, wisdom, people have shared with us. First step is sambandha, awareness. When I speak to you about Vibhooti Yoga, all of us have created sambandha with Krishna because we are aware of his glorious opulences. Abhidheya, process, prayojana, goal. Anything that you see and read in Gita, you should try to understand where am I coming from? Where am I? So make it simple. Sambandha. A child, we're all parents, our child gets into an engineering college or a medical college. That is sambandha. Very simple. First step. We all opened Gita and started reading. That is sambandha. Abhidheya, it's a process. What is the process when a kid goes to college? He has to study. If it is engineering, 4 years. If it is medical, it is 5 years. That is the process. Abhidheya. What is the goal? What is the objective? What is the result? The result is he gets either an engineer's degree or a doctor's degree. So now this Chaturshloki Gita is also telling us the same thing. In 10.8, we get from Krishna a clear message. Sambandha Abhidheya process. He says, you follow this, you have understood Yo Mam Veti Tatvataha. 10.9 talks about Abhidheya Prayojana. It gives us further insight into what is the process of Bhakti Yoga. And 10.10 and 10.11 talks about Abhidheya. So this is why this is called Chatusloki. 4 shloka is Chatusloki. And Ramanujacharya first time coined this word that these are the most essential verses of Gita, and they give you the distilled wisdom of Gita. So with this background, let's jump into understanding what is Chatusloki Yoga. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So what is Krishna saying? Most important verse of Gita. Out of 700, if you know this 4, you have understood Gita. Krishna is the source of everything. Is it very difficult to understand? I don't think so. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. I am the source of everything. Let's look at the translation. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. There is no doubt. There is no ground for doubt. Anything in this world which is created, I am the source. As simple as that. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Very clear in terms of translation. Let's go line by line. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Aham, I. Again, we all understand that Krishna in Gita has never said, I am Brahmajyoti. I am an impersonal person. He says, I. Follow me. There's no confusion in terms of understanding his message. Everywhere I have always marked Aham and Mam in red to make sure that all of us understand that Krishna is a person. And he's talking to Arjuna and telling us how to understand him and follow him. Sarvasya, all, everything. There is no exception. Prabhavaha, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. They are created by me. And he has repeated this so many times. He has said, even in 7.7, Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. So, Mayi Sarvam Midam Protam Sutre Manigani Iva. There is no truth superior to me. Everything rests on me. This is what Krishna has told us earlier also. So now he's saying the same thing. Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Everything emanates from me. All the world, it is not running by magic. It's not that we know there is a day, there is the evening, there is night. We are born, we grow, and we end this life. No, it is not happening by a magic wand. There is someone who is controlling it. And he is saying this. I am not guessing. Oh, maybe it could be possible. No. Matta sarvam pravartate. I am the source. I am the sustainer. Iti matva bhajante mam. One who understands this, bhajante. Bhajante means devotee who engages in devotional service. And Krishna is not interested in ritualistic offerings. He says, love me. I want you to be emotionally connected to me. You love me, cherish me, worship me, adore me. That is bhajante. In 6.47, he says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukta tamo mataha. There is one person who is the supreme and who has great faith in me, who always abides in me, renders loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga. So all of us can be that person by surrendering to Krishna. What happens if you surrender? Buddha bhava samanvitaha. You are going to get that intelligence. You are going to get that enlightenment. So that is the essence of knowing this. Why? Buddha bhava samanvitaha. What do you do when you are endowed with enlightenment? You are going to make an effort to connect with the Lord with bhava, with love, with feelings. What did you say? I'm not interested in knowing whether you're giving me gold or silver. You can give me patram, phalam, it doesn't matter, but give it to me with love. Now, Srila Prabhupada gives us a lovely example. Why should we know the source of a person? Why is Krishna saying Aham Sarvasya Prabhu? He says in the purport that if you are in a foreign land, a foreign country, maybe in UK or US, and you see an Indian, what is the first thing? Recognition. Why do you recognize that person? Because you are from India, he is from India. So the origin becomes the first cause of attraction. And we can easily connect and chat with him. Why? Because he's an Indian. So if you know the source as Krishna, then you create that same relationship with Krishna. So if you know a person in a foreign land as Indian and you can connect with him, if you can know that Krishna is the source of everything in this world, then it becomes so much easier to connect with him. Now, a brief principle explanation of what is bhajante, what is devotional service. So Krishna has very clearly said in 9.26, Patram Pushpam Phalam Thoyam. Love me with devotion, give me anything, I accept it. Now, when Krishna is saying that, what is the reflection we should have? Now, what is our conditioning? Why are we finding it so difficult to open Gita, read Gita, understand Gita? Because we have material contamination. It is gathered over years. And what is our material intelligence? Material intelligence is we worship the Lord with offerings. So what do we do when we go to Siddhi Vinayak? What do we do when we go to Shirdi Sai Baba? We carry whatever paid gift, love, offering that we have, and we go and put it at the Lord's feet. And then we say, Sastang Danvat Pranam, oh Lord, please help me improve my health, improve my wealth, improve my family, etc. etc. So this is material intelligence. And all of us are tuned to this. No one is an exception. But after you read Gita, after you understand, oh, what is Krishna trying to tell me, you will understand that Krishna doesn't want offerings. Krishna doesn't want bait. Krishna wants surrender. He wants you to serve him. How do you serve him? He says, that is knowledge, and I will give it to you. The moment you know I am supreme, automatically that respect, love is generated in you. That is Buddha. What is that source of that Buddha? He is the origin, cause, maintainer, and destroyer of everything. So our material intelligence gets translated to spiritual intelligence. That is worship Lord with love. Don't worship Lord with offerings. Don't ask Krishna, because Krishna is bhavagrahi. Krishna gives what you deserve, and Krishna doesn't give what you desire. So why go to him with offerings? You just say, everything that is happening to me, he has told me sukha, dukkha, both are Krishna. Then the moment you have this realization, you start getting into unalloyed devotional service, unalloyed surrender. Anything that happens, Krishna is responsible. If you just do this, your life is a blissful one in this world. You're not affected by anything material that's happening to you. Let's go to the next verse. Another gem, as Ramanujacharya says, Matchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Gatayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. This is what we all have to do as pure devotees. And what we are doing today evening is perfect example of Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. Let's see what it is. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. What is Matchitta Prana? Let us go through this. Matchitta. Matchitta is minds absorbed in me. So we have already seen how important it is to control our mind. So Krishna is again saying the same thing. Surrender to me with your mind. That is Smaranam. Remember me. Connect with me. How do we connect with him? How do we use our mind? We know mind is used to control all our five senses. So use all the five senses in his service. How do you do that? Shravanam, ears. We are hearing. Today, that's what we are doing. Tongue. We are talking about Krishna. That is, or you can talk about his glories. You can chant his name. That is using your tongue. So all the senses are to be engaged in the service of Krishna. So the Madgata Prana. What is Madgata Prana? We are all Annagata Prana. Annagata Prana means any living being survives on food. What Krishna is saying, Madgata Prana, along with food, survive on my remembrance, survive on my service. That is Madgata Prana. Now, you may be wondering, Array, how can I remember Krishna when I am so busy? Arjuna also asked the same question I had. Now, we are all into sports. I'm a cricket fan. Maybe you're a World Cup football fan. Now, when we meet, are we not talking about cricket or football all the time? Why? Because we love the game. So all that we have to do is try and cultivate the love for Krishna. Bodhayanta. Now, Bodhayanta is Shravana. We should inspire. Now, what am I trying to do? I read Gita and I'm trying to inspire all of you. Now, what you should do, you should take this Chaturshloki Gita and try to inspire your friends. That is how we spread. That is Bodhayanta Parasparam. Inspire, explain, enlighten. Parasparam. With whom? With each other. Is it difficult? Is it that you have to struggle to do this? No. Each of us have close friends and we can do with them. Katayantascha mam nityam. Talk, glorify, narrate, talk about the Leelas. How did Krishna, as a 7-year-old boy, lift Govardhan Hill? Is he Krishna as we are seeing him? Where did that power come from? That is Katayantascha, Kirtana. You're glorifying. Tushyanti cha, Ramanti cha. Experience satisfaction and bliss. So when we talk about Chaturshloki Gita, we should feel the emotion of love for Krishna. So what is our role is we should be like a super magnet. Convert iron filings to magnet. Analogy. What does a young boy and a girl do when they come to know each other? They take pleasure in association. That is what we should do. Take pleasure in associating with the Lord. Picture tells the story more strongly. So I have given you pictures here. So what am I doing? Lord, please talk to me. Many of us say this. Krishna is saying, oh, here is Gita. I have already talked to Arjuna. Please understand reading Gita. What should be our outlook? What should be our approach to Krishna? You look at a monkey. Monkey, if you see the baby, it clings to the mother. This is called Markata Kishore Nyaya. Now, let's dissect. This is the two philosophies in life. Either we can be a monkey, try your own efforts, that is Gnana Yoga, or Krishna is saying, you follow Marjara Kishore Nyaya. Be like a cat. Cat holds the baby in its mouth, and the baby is not harmed. That is what is devotional service. One more, if I were to take you through, what happens here? One second. This tree is bare. Now it has got fruits, and all the birds come and eat the fruits. Has the tree lost anything? No. The tree has given love to the birds. That's the reason why the bird comes back to the tree again and again. That is the essence of love. Let's go to the next verse. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So Krishna says, if you start the process, sambandha, relationship, I will give you the intelligence. Let's read the translation. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So we don't have to do anything. Krishna does it for us. So what is the process? Tesam, those people, the devotees that we talked about in the last verse, satata yuktana, they are constantly engaged, always engaged. It's like now you may be wondering what is satatam. It's like a mother. Does a mother stop taking care of her baby? No. Whatever the age of the child, the love of the mother to the child is selfless. That should be the way we love Krishna. Bhajatam Preeti Purvakam. Love me, worship me, serve me with love. Like a mother does. Mother's love is not forced. Mother doesn't get anything in return from the child. It is natural. That is what we should try and adopt to Krishna. Yena mam upayanti te. Upayanti means upa is near. So you can go close to Krishna by engaging in unalloyed devotional service. If I were to give you an equation, it says there are 3 steps. What we should do? Devotion as a devotee. We are trying to understand about Krishna. We are trying to learn about Krishna. That is also devotion. Knowledge. So Krishna gives us the knowledge. Krishna tells us how we should love him. Become the knowledge. And in the next verse, you see how Krishna says, Gnana Deepena Bhashvata. I will become the lamp of knowledge in each one of you. That's the beauty of devotional service. Let's go to the last verse of Chatushloki. Tesam evanu kampartham aham agnana jamtanaha nashayami atma bhavasto gnana deepena bhashvata. What is Krishna saying here? I will mercifully destroy the ignorance. Let's look at the translation. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So if we establish the sambandha, follow the process of bhakti yoga, rest all Krishna will take care. We are on autopilot. You don't have to worry. Tesam, those devotees, anukampa artham. I show them special mercy because Lord is very compassionate. Aham eva. I alone can do this. Agnana cham tanahat. I take out the darkness born out of ignorance. Why? Because we are all unable to understand the real truth about Krishna. If you know that, automatically the knowledge comes in us. Nashayami atma bhavasto. I will destroy in their hearts all the ignorance that is there. He had told us in 9.22 also when he says, Yoga Kshema Vahamiham. I will accept to supply all that you don't have and I will protect what you have. So he has already assured us that, and he's again saying that Nashayami Atma Bhavasto. Gnana Deepena Bhashvata. Gnana Deepa. He says, I'm going to be the shining lamp of knowledge to remove the darkness. Now, light dispels darkness and reveals any object. Does light require any assistance? No. Krishna doesn't require any of your assistance. He just wants us to follow the process, establish the relationship. So Krishna is not creating love out of nothing. Now, object, when a light shines on that, object is not created. It is just that it is revealed. So, if I were to give you this is what we should engage in, devotion. Then what happens? All our sense enjoyment is at the first level. So when I start meditating, I am seeking knowledge. Now Krishna becomes Gnana Deepena Bhashvata. There is a lamp burning in our hearts. He is there as Paramatma in each one of us. What does he do? with this. He gives us the understanding of Krishna. This is the essence of this verse. Jnana Deepena Bhashvata. With that, we go to the next set of verses. Okay, let me give you a very brief summary. What is knowledge? You should know yoga about Krishna. We should connect with Krishna, appreciate the varied manifestations of Krishna, that is Vibhuti. When you do that, you get bhakti. We get purified. Our Atma Gnana ends the ignorance. And then the most aspired for moksha, liberation, dawns upon us. So all that we need to do is follow this path. Now we come to the third section of this chapter, E, everywhere. We can quickly go through this because this verse, Arjuna is giving us his realization of what Krishna has so far told him. All of us should reach the same conclusion. If we are there, then we have understood the essence of Gita. What does Arjuna say? Param Brahma Param Dhama, Arjuna Vacha, Param Brahma Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashwatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. What is this meaning? He says, you are the supreme personality of Godhead. We have already seen Aham Adirhi Devanam. Param Dhama, he is the ultimate abode. This is where we all must aspire to reach. Pavitram Paramam. He is the purest, absolute truth. He is Purusham Shashwatam Divyam. Eternal Purusha, divine, transcendental. There's nobody else who is there to replace Krishna. Nobody can come close to Krishna. That is knowledge. Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. He is the original person. He is the unborn person. He is the greatest person. This is the understanding of Arjuna after 9 chapters. So we must reach that same understanding and say that, Lord, you are supreme and we surrender unto you. He continues. Ahustvam rasaya sarve devarshir nardas tatha asito devalo vyasa swayam chaiva bravishime. What is he saying? Krishna says, I am Devarshir Narada Satha. All the divine sages, including Narada, come from me. Then he says, Asito, Devalo, Vyasa. These are all names of great sages. Devala, Asita, Vyasa. They are all also are declaring the same thing. And I have also understood the same thing. Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Personally, I also joining them in telling that you are also explaining to me in the same way. I have understood that you are Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. With this, we go to the next verse. Now, this here, what is Arjuna saying? Arjuna says, I have already realized you. You are the Supreme Lord. I only want to hear more about your opulences. This is his earnest desire. So what he says, Sarvam Meta Ratam Manye Yanma Vadasi Keshavaha Nahite Bhagwan Vyaktim Vidurdeva Na Danavaha. No one knows you. We have already read this. Arjuna is saying this and asking Krishna to explain further. Translation. Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. So there's no doubt in his mind. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Yes, this is the understanding. So if we, Prabhupada says in the purport that we must have this faith and not try to question, challenge, debate, argue that, oh, how can Krishna be the supreme? He was born as Devaki's son. No, this is not understanding Gita. You're not understood the essence at all. Sarvam meta dhatam manye. Krishna says, I completely accept as truth all that you have told me. Dhatam manye, all that the rishis have told me, they are statement of facts. Yan mam vadashi keshavaha. Mam vadashi, that is what you have spoken to me. Keshava. Now, Keshava is a very interesting combination of two words. It shows that even Shiva and Brahma originate from Krishna. Ka in this Keshava is Brahma. Isha is Shiva. And Va is to bind. So we can know that Arjuna is saying, Krishna, you bind up even Brahma and Shiva with ignorance about your true nature. So what is great? Nahi te Bhagwan Vyaktim. All the demigods, all the rishis do not know this absolute truth because it needs the mercy of the Lord to understand about Krishna. Vidur Devana Danavaha. So this is not easy for the God or demons to understand. he continues. Swayam evatmana atmanam veta tvam purushottama bhuta bhavana bhutesha deva deva jagatpate. Only you know yourself. Tell me more. So now, the next three verses are not something which are having great learnings in them. It is just reflection. It is an earnest request from Arjuna to continue. Krishna, please tell me more. That's it. And from 19th verse onwards, till 42nd verse, we will see in the next class, it is one glory after another described by Krishna. So now what does Arjuna say in this? He says, indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. So what more descriptions you want? Krishna uses 5 epithets in this verse to describe the Lord. He says, Purushottama. Purushottama, we are all Purushas. And Krishna says, I am the Supreme Purusha. And Arjuna says, I understand, I recognize, and I surrender. Bhuta Bhavana. I am the originum of everything. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. Bhutesha. I am the Lord of everything. I am the controller of everything. The fourth, he says, Deva Deva. I am the Lord of all gods, most worshipful one. Pray to me, everything else taken care of. Jagatpate, Lord of the universe. So these are the descriptors that Arjuna has used so that we start appreciating, and any doubt in our mind has to be removed. Let's go to the next verse. Now, here I have summarized. What does verse 16 say? Arjuna is asking further questions. And what is he asking? He says, Oh Krishna, tell me more about your opulences. We all have this question, how should I think of you? That is his question. That is 17th verse. 18th verse, he says, how shall I know you? Why is Arjuna asking this again and again after he has realized? Basically because of us, common people. We should not have any doubts. We should know, understand Vibhuti very clearly. And once we taste the nectar, we can start personally absorbing that. That is why Arjuna is asking these 3 verses. Vaktum arhasi aseshena divyahi atma vibhutaya yabhir vibhuti lokan imam stam vyapyatastasi. What is Arjuna saying here? Please tell me, describe more of your opulences. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Very quick, line by one. Vaktum arhasi. Vaktum means, oh Lord, please speak. Asheshena. Shesha means remainder, incomplete. Asheshena is full, complete. I want to hear from you the complete truth. Divya hi atma vibhutya. You are supreme, your glories are supreme, your leelas are supreme. I understand each one of them. Yabhir vibhuti bhir lokan. What are those glorious manifestations by which you pervade this world? Tell me more. Bhuta bhavana bhutesha. That is what he had described Krishna. He had said Purushottama. Now he says, Imam stom vyapatistasi. Please tell me how you pervade, how you exist in this world. How can I know you? Next verse. Katam vidyam aham yogim stam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyo asi bhagavan maya. Please tell me more of your opulences. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? And how shall I know you? This is the question in all our minds, irrespective of having gone through just a shloka. After 5 minutes, we get the same questions. So we have to continue reading further. In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? So Arjuna is asking Krishna 3 questions. What he says, how shall I constantly think of you? Second question, how shall I know you? Third question, in what various forms are you to be remembered? Will you remember him as Keshava? Will you remember him as Madhava? Choice is you. Will you remember him as Purushottama? You want to remember him as Loka Maheshwara? Choice is yours. He says, tell me more. I already know this. I want to hear more. The last verse of the day. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhutya kataya truptirhi shrunuvato nastime mrutam. So Arjuna now says, I am not satiated by hearing about you, O Krishna. Anything about you is like relishing nectar. Please tell me more. Translation. O Janardana. So from Loka Maheshwara, Purushottama, Madhava, Keshwa, now he says Janardana. O Janardana, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you. The more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar. That should be the love. The more we like, the more we do that. That is seen in our jobs, that is seen in our personal lives. Vistarena means in detail, elaborate more. Atmano yogam, your own glory, your own vibhuti. Tell me more. Vibhutim cha janardana. What is Janardana? You are the maintainer of all of us. So please tell us how you are looking after us. Bhuya katayat truptirhi. I am not satisfied. I want to hear more. Shunavato naste me amrutam. I want to hear more and more about you. Please tell me. This is the last verse. Quick summary. So this chapter is Opulence of the Absolute. Acronym is C. Source of everything. What is source of everything? He is known but unknown. We saw that. We all understand Krishna, but we can't, once we see him as a covered boy, born out of the womb of Devaki, we mistake him to be a normal covered boy. He is not. He continues the same power in him, even when he is born in this world. He is the source of everything, and one who knows this, Sarva Papam Uchyate. You will be free from all sinful reactions. The 1 hour that we have spent today will help us free us from all sinful reactions. And he also told us in the fourth and the fifth verses, he described 20 qualities and personalities. All of them come from Krishna. The second lesson we studied about Chaturshloki Gita, the most important verses of Gita, which summarizes the entire essence. He tells us, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. Then he says, Matchitta Matgata Prana. Don't be Annagata Prana, O Nara, be Matgata Prana. Surrender to me, love me. And if you do that, I reciprocate with you. I will be that lamp of knowledge in you to remove the ignorance. The lesson 3 is everywhere. So Arjuna first tells us that he is completely satisfied and he gives his own description of what he has understood about Krishna. We should also try to do that. And the last part of this we will take in the next class, where Krishna talks non-stop for 19 to 42, those verses where he describes his various devotees. And just to summarize, the reciprocation that Krishna brings in is, if we take the effort, if we create the sambandha, what will happen? All the senses, all the desires in us, we are fighting to control them. Krishna helps us control them. How? He becomes the lamp of shining knowledge. What does that lamp do? Take away the ignorance. And what is that ignorance? Is we do not know who is Krishna. And once we understand what is Krishna, our lives are free from sinful reactions. With this, I come to the end. Thank you very much. The floor is now open for any questions. I hope you all enjoyed the session.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I see Chetna raising her hand. Yes, Chetna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very enlightening session. Vibhooti Yoga is especially, it's very beautiful to chant.
Yes.
We chanted this, Amma and I, we chanted this yesterday.
Fantastic.
It's also emotional at a certain level.
Yes.
What I had written down. If you can just go back to your 10.5. slide.
Which is that? Slide 10,
10,
is
5.
it?
No, not, I don't know the slide number.
Huh.
The 5th shloka.
Can you recognize which verse is that?
All, 1 second. Ahimsa samata tushtihi tapodanam yasho yasha.
Right. 4th and 5th.
Here, I think you had.
I'll show you. Yeah. This is that.
The previous one. Where you had said that Bhagavan says that all feelings and emotions have been slide previous.
Right.
All feelings and emotions have been created by me. So
Yes.
does he say that they have been created by me or they are me?
They are me.
One.
See, the beauty of understanding this is, if you understand Krishna is the creator and Krishna is that intelligence. So that's the essence of understanding.
So if he says that Bhagavan himself is whatever emotion or feeling we have, Manushya has. I don't know, this question could be, I don't know how to say this, but why is there then so much anger, frustration, demonic behavior in this world? If when Bhagavan says that all these feelings, emotions have been created by me or they are me, how can Bhagavan be so krura? I mean, we see so much asuri behavior in so many people, women being molested and people being killed, and all this is a feeling coming out of a person.
Okay. I have understood your question, and very, I would say, most appropriate, and it really gives jignasa. All of us have this doubt. If Krishna has created this, why did he create them? Now, the way
we think, how can Bhagavan be so, I mean, why would he create such a person who is prepared to harm another person, who is a creation of Bhagavan himself? So, I mean, who is just another creation?
Let me try and tell you the answer to this. See, now you have a hospital, correct? And in a hospital, there are doctors, there are medicines. So if our understanding is right, if I have 1 second, I'll just switch off the light. It is creating a shine. 1 second, give me a second. This is much better. Yeah. So the way think is that I have a hospital, I have doctors, I have medicines. Then why are people sick?
Yes,
none of us should be sick. Because all I have to do is go to the hospital, a doctor is there, he has got medicines, I have cough, cold, fever, etc. But it doesn't work that way. Yes or no?
Yes.
Similarly, Krishna has created a hospital, Krishna has created doctors, Krishna has created medicines. But that doesn't mean that all the people in this world are free from disease. So Krishna has created dukkha.
Agree.
Right?
Yes, he has
this created
Durga to vanquish. Okay.
So when you look at it from an absolute perspective, the truth completely changes. Why does he say dharma, artha, kama, moksha? He has told us, I have created rage, I have created envy, I have created lust, I have created jealousy, but I have also told you that you have to follow dharma. Please do not do anything which is not there in the scriptures. No scripture tells, oh Chaitanya ji, you must be angry with Sharad. No. Does it say that? It doesn't say that. So we have chosen by our own free will to get angry. Why? Something in us gets upset. That's the false ego, false identity. So the problems are created by us, not by Krishna. Now, all of us know that if I jump, I am on 4th floor. If I jump on 4th floor, what will happen? I will break my leg. So will I go and jump? I will not jump. Has Krishna come and stopped
That
me
is
from
the
jumping?
power of thought that.
Choice
That
and thought. Both are in my hand. That is how we have to understand.
Still not convinced, sir.
Not
I'm
convinced.
sorry.
No issue.
I
Let's
mean,
have an
I understand what you're saying, sir. No, I totally understand what you're saying. Maybe we are taking up the time of everybody else. We can do this.
We will take it offline because see,
because
this is Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Until and unless you are convinced, Krishna says, don't do anything blindly. Go verse by verse, line by line, and get answers and convince yourself that, well, Krishna is not responsible. Krishna is responsive. We all mistake. Responsive, not responsible. Responsibility is ours. Responsiveness is his.
Correct.
I approach him, he will come to me. Gnanadhipena bhashvata. If I don't approach him, why will he come to me? Because he knows you will
Even
not accept.
For the corrupt, sir, for the corrupt, we say actually, Manel Matadavaga, we say, Madadala Madbit Mate. If you go and sort of people offering their black money to temple trusts, putting in hordes of cash into hundis. This is all money that is not earned but got by corrupt means.
Correct.
So ಮಾಡದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದ ಪಾಪನ ಹುಂಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Exactly.
Sure. So also that a criminal, when he feels repentant, I feel personally that it's too late. I mean, you had the choice, you had the mental ability to think that what you're doing is wrong. You cannot always say that it was done in a moment of anger or whatever.
Okay.
You have to face the consequences.
Very true. Action has an equal and opposite reaction. Karma. You bear the fruit of your action.
So maybe, sir, I'm not questioning the verse. Maybe you got me wrong. I'm not questioning the verse. I'm only saying that if Bhagwan has created all these emotions, why has he created? I mean, obviously, we as Manushas will not be able to explain why he has created anger, demonic behavior, frustration, lust, so many other wrong, what the feelings or emotions that we call wrong. That can be,
yes.
That can be manifest themselves in so many ways. Article news beats. I don't like to read the newspaper because there is so much anger coming out, frustration, and actions because of these feelings or emotions.
Hare Krishna, I would like to throw some light on this.
Perfect. Very good. Go ahead.
See, as far as my understanding goes, what I feel is, see, Krishna, he may be the origin of all the qualities and all, but he has given us some will and some intelligence, whether to use those negative qualities or not. It is up to us.
Yes.
If we use it positively, then we incur good karma. If we use it negatively, then we incur bad karma. And one more thing, what I realized is see, Krishna wants to show us that if you are good by his devotees' example only. See, they, like Bhishma and all, when he didn't side Draupadi in that assembly of Chiraran. So Krishna, they were all assisting him in Krishna. Like they didn't do it willingly. Sometimes what happens, this pure devotees, this pure atmas, they help Krishna in his leelas. So Krishna wanted to show how much ever good you may be, but if you are on the side of adharma, I am not by your side. So, and what happens is, when these bad qualities are there, then only we can appreciate the good qualities in a person.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we know now, then sadhakas also can come to know which path we should take. see that person is doing wrong and we do. And sometimes we know, like the person who has taken a wrong path, he bears the consequences also. Then we understand, no, we are not supposed to take that path. So by creating such persons, he tries to show us, see, this is this. You have both things. It is up to you which path you want to choose. So when the bad people, when the bad qualities are there, the good qualities are appreciated. Otherwise, if only everywhere good is there, then you don't value it.
There will be no appreciation of the good. Yeah.
Yes, you don't value it. That's what I think. I may be wrong also.
Very good answer, Sneha. And further to this, see, Krishna has created 3 modes, and he has told you that you are under the if the modes are acting on us constantly.
Yes.
And he has also said that you have to transcend from mode of ignorance to mode of passion, from mode of passion to mode of sattva, mode of goodness.
And further also he says, from this sattva guna, you want to. So what happens when you engage all your senses in Krishna? See, in this 1.5 hours, what we did, we just forgot everything, and we were in sattva guna. So and we were trying to do bhakti, like this is our service to Krishna by hearing about his words. So like when we hear and when we are more into this spirituality, we transcend all this all other rajas guna and tamo guna, like that. That's what.
Thank you, Sneha. Very nice explanation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thanks.
Sureshji, any question?
Yeah. No, I think I had the same mindset what we were discussed. Why things happening, why it is created, but still, what the answer was given was choice is with you.
Right.
So basically, you have to learn this goodness or sattvas to accept and then behave accordingly.
Yes.
So that's what is that. But still, the question thing is that why God has to create this so that I think everything can be good. Although people value or do not value, good is good. Okay, so bad will not come at all.
He says,
no, previously Sattva Guna was more prevalent actually in Satya Yuga and all. So this bad qualities and all which we are seeing now, it is the effect of Kali Yuga. And it is going to get worse. It's going to see we all are 50 and all 50s. When we were child, we saw more goodness actually. But our children, they are seeing more passionate people and more this. And as we age and as we are going to go further, our grandchildren all might see more bad things than the good things. But still, the good people are there, so this world is functioning and still there.
Yes, that's a fact. And Sureshji, Krishna says, why he is asking us to come to my loka? He says, Paramdhama. Why is that? Because in his loka, there is no adharma. All of us only do satata kirtayanto mam. We don't have to do anything. That's why he says, come out of this material world, step into my world, and then you're free from birth and death. There is no death, there is no aging, there is no illness, there is no hospital, there is no doctor in the spiritual world.
True. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. If there are no questions, then I'll end the session.
Okay.
Thank you all once again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.